got ourselves a gapper. What is going on, everyone? Jeremy Hritz here. Courage pays better than fear trading. Happy Monday. Happy October 27th, final trading week of October. And what a hell of a week this is going to be. You guys heard me talk about this last week. And man, I'm so excited, so excited. Let's just talk about what is currently happening. So we are gapped up pretty hard. The market hasn't opened yet. It's 9:12 a.m. Driving back from dropping the kids off at the school, looking at an office space to upgrade the studio with my partner, Ep.050. So we were just checking that out, but we are getting a big gap up off of optimism that the trade deal with China is going to be finalized this week. And there's so many other positive things that are out there as catalysts, acting as catalysts to push this market up. And let's talk about what some of those are. Well, we've got the Fed who's going to cut rates on Wednesday. We have major Mag 7 earnings coming this week from the likes of Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Google. And you know that there's going to be positive reports coming out of those companies. We've already had 2 moves down from Tesla and Netflix. So we're going to see some price action there. And so we're really in a position where we're going to push higher. Now, I will say this is a head on a swivel market. And if you just look at the charts, it does not take a rocket science technician to know we are extended. And we're going to be extended even more because we're coming into the seasonal period where things are super strong. We know that November through April, the best 6 months in the stock market, but we're getting close to where it's going to be to the point where it's got to come back. It's got to correct. So we have to keep that in mind. So winners, we want to be trimming. We want to be protecting, moving our stops, trailing up with our stop and our profit taker so that we don't get in a position where we get too greedy, we get trapped and get caught in a dump. Because the other piece here is this whole China-US trade deal. Is it a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event? Because keep this in mind too. Xi and Trump are supposed to meet on Friday. The tariffs are supposed to take effect on November 1st. So what if there is some last second, oh, well, things didn't work out and there's hostility in the form of a tweet and things dump. And that's where you can't get complacent and be like, oh yeah, we're just going to go to the moon. It's moon time. You can't get into that mindset because that's when you're going to get smashed. So you got to be level-headed right now. You can't chase, you can't FOMO, but at the same time, pick your spots and ride the momentum. And this isn't about calling tops. We're not calling tops here. We're just being smart defensive traders. And that's what you have to do. That's the key to success at this time. My plan by Friday is to be as flat as possible in terms of my positions. A lot of my swing trades, closing them out, and really just sitting on a cash pile, day trading, and then waiting for at least a correction, at least a 5% drop, which we haven't gotten. So. But we're going to enjoy this ride. I'm not trying to be bearish. Some of you out there might be saying, Jeremy, you're always talking about a correction, a dip. Well, yeah, look at the charts. It's screaming, hey, things are extended. I'm not being bearish, but I'm also, this is another concept I want to talk about, and I want to put together a video on this, but you have to have humility when it comes to the markets. You have to be humble and know that you're not in control of the markets. We are riding the wave. We are riding the trend that the market gives us. And we have to respect that. And we have to have humility when it comes to that. And what I mean by that is not thinking that, oh man, I just crush it. I'm always making money. I can't lose. When you start thinking like that, get ready for massive drawdown in your account, because that's when the market will punch you dead in the teeth and not feel bad about it. So you got to have market humility. That's key right now. So let's see what we get this week. And the one last thing that I'll say here is go back and look at the SPX chart from last year when we had the massive gap higher off of the election news whenever Trump got elected, and look at the pattern that followed there. Gap up, pushed up higher, and then you had a dip, and then it started its next leg up. So that's what I'm going to be following for a model here over the next several weeks, that we're going to push up into Friday off of these earnings, but there's going to be profit taking at some point, and there will be some type of curveball thrown here by the end of the week. Geopolitically, an insolvent bank, something along those lines, and you have to be prepared for it. So my plan for the week: bullish all week, taking profits, trailing stops, trailing profit taker, locking in gains, flat as possible through all my positions by Friday, and setting up some downside protection into the weekend in the event that there is some craziness that happens, and maybe even setting up some type of a spread with puts on the major indices, the Qs or the SPX, to capitalize on any type of negative event that we could get over the weekend. So that's how I'm playing it. We're kicking off Monday here with a brand new episode of Driven. This is episode 50, I believe. And I'll be back on the content horse this week and trying to find a nice studio space as we upgrade and take this thing to the next level. So it's always a good week, man. It doesn't even matter what the market does. Sun's shining out here. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. I love my life. I love the opportunity out here every day. And I hope the same for you guys. And just appreciate and enjoy the fact that we are alive. We get to experience this world. We are alive at the greatest moment in time in human history. We have access to so many things, this abundant life. I know I'm on my soapbox right now, but I just want to drive that home. Gratitude. My Tesla is saying corrective steering applied for your safety. All right, well. Anyway, apply some corrective steering to your trades. Protect yourself. But at the same time, try to capitalize on these moves. And I will see you back here for the next episode of Driven. But until then, make it a great day and honor the moment. Take care, everyone.